What's up YouTube, NCG here, bringing you a GOAT format deck profile. Now, GOAT is a format back in 2005 that was kind of seen as the most diverse, most kind of entertaining format around, which is why people still play it now. So basically what you do is you put together the deck of the ban list at that time. Some cards like YUGIOH Universe can be questioned, but some people believe it's legal because it came in one day before the ban list and the GOAT format changed. Others believe it came in too late and didn't really have its chance to affect the way the GOAT format works. So you can change that and adapt that as you wish. But the reason people like GOAT format so much is it takes it back to the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! Also goes back to like turn priority or priorities, especially with stuff like Blackluster, Soldier, Envoy, and then it also kind of gives people that chance to play the banned cards in a format that, you know, was really enjoyable to people. It's nice and relaxing, and it's a different change of pace to the meta as it is. So what I always say about GOATs is definitely build one. You can get a really, really cheap one, all low rarity. I'll go through the cards that you find that are going to be the harder ones to get hold of. But they're kind of ones that you build up towards. And then also at big events like regionals, nationals, stuff like that, is 9 times out of 10 you'll see quite a lot of people playing the deck. And that's generally because it's a nice little breather, it's a relaxation kind of thing. So rather than burning yourself out playing your deck that you're playing in a tournament during your breaks, play GOAT. It kind of relaxes you and kind of gets you back into a steady mind state to then go back onto your next round and kind of compete again. Also, it had no extra deck limit. So as you can see, you play pretty much as many as you want of those cards. Now, some are relevant to this deck build, some aren't. These are just showing you all the options that you play. Thousand Eyes is obviously one of the ones that is staple. So without further ado, we'll crack straight into the deck profile and I'll talk you through as to why we play these cards and the reasons that we do. So we played double YUGIOH Universe. Incredibly powerful, especially in the GOAT format, because it gave your opponent, when you activated Scapegoat tokens, which is why it's called GOAT format mainly, YUGIOH could then do piercing damage of 1400 to get through your tokens. Some people don't agree with this card, like I said before. It's a 42 card deck at the moment, so you can easily take this out if you want it to be, if you play someone that doesn't play it, but 9 times out of 10 they do play YUGIOH Universe. Double Magician of Faith, pretty much staple, these two cards in the deck. You play quite a few spells, so it's nice to recycle your big ones like your Pot of Greed, your Grateful Charities, your Heavy Storms and stuff like that. Dakachi, the Battle Chanted Locomotive. Now this is a personal choice of mine in this deck. It can be changed out and moved around. Again, if you play with YUGIOH Universe and you don't want Dakachi, you can take him out. Your other options are stuff like Magical Merchant. This card kind of helps if you play lots of spells and traps. And then you've got Exiled Force, again another option that you can put in here in place of Dakachi. So it's really down to you if you want to play him in or not. Next up we played double Tsukiyomi. Really, really good card, pretty much staple again in the deck. More for the fact that it kind of booker moves monsters. So with Thousand Eyes of Strict, when that was kind of like your main state plays, you would make your get your tokens on board to protect you, then turn one of your tokens using Metamorphosis into Thousand Eyes Restrict, take one of your opponent's big beater monsters, and then you would just sit there and start poking away at them with Thousand Eyes. Whereas Tsukiyomi, you would normal Tsukiyomi, and because the effect is mandatory to flip face down like Book of Moon, if you don't have another monster on board, you do end up flipping Tsukiyomi face down. But what you do is you usually abuse her effect to flip your flip monsters back face down and go again. People play like Morphing Jar as well, so it kind of helps you recycle those. Another staples in the deck, you've got Sangan, quite self-explanatory. Obviously you use the old effect as well, so that when it's sent you add the monster with 15 from your deck to your hand. None of the new errata stuff. Breaker, the Magical Warrior, again quite staple in that. Spirit Reaper, some people don't play this, I quite like playing it because you put it in defense and people can't get around it. They struggle to get around it quite a bit, and then when it attacks directly, you can pitch one from your opponent's hand. So it's a nice little card to trial out. Other cards that people play in this is Big Shield Gardener, and that's generally as a out to Nobleman of Crossout. So that's a very, very nice card to play. Air Knight Parish Knight, Parish, again, gives you that +1 draw when you do battle damage, plus you get to pierce through your opponent's tokens. DD Warrior Lady gets to banish one of those big beaters on board, especially with stuff like Blackluster, Soldier, Envoy at the beginning. Jinzo, again, quite straightforward, locks out all your opponent's trap cards. Tribe Infecting Virus, again, pitch one, nuke the board. Azura Priest, kind of clears off your opponent's tokens and lets you go in for game. Blackluster Soldier Envoy beginning, quite straightforward. You need to make sure you've got the right balance of light and dark monsters, but he can be incredibly powerful, especially with turn priority. So the way this works is as soon as he hits the board, you get your choice right there and then, before your opponent can respond, to activate his effect to banish. So it's entirely up to you. Sinister Serpent, again, staple in this deck. You kind of pitch it off of your cards like Graceful Chariot and that, and you get to bring it back, and it lets you cycle them back around. Bonzalug, another one of my personal choices. I quite like the mills from the top of the deck, or the pitch from hand as well, is very, very important. But again, that one's a personal choice in this build. Next up, pretty staple, triple Scapegoat. Double Metamorphosis, you can play this at 3 if you wish. I play it at 2, you can play it at 3, like I said, it's really down to personal preference. Metamorphosis just helps turn your tokens into Thousand Eyes. That's your main play, but then there are times when you might want to change your higher levels up into your other fusion monsters. Double Nobleman of Crossout, this basically stops your opponent getting the flip monster effects. Obviously there is the downside that you lose all your flip monsters from the deck as well, but if you do it at the right time, if you've got the monsters in hand, it helps get rid of your stuff. If they put stuff face down that's a troublesome monster like Tsukiyomi, because when that flips face up you get to Book of Moon something, or of course they've got Spirit Reaper, stuff like that, it gets to go around them. The only thing it can't get around is Big Shield Gardener, which can be quite a bit of a pain to deal with in the deck. Next up, the one Book of Moon, you can play this at 2 or 3 if you wish. I'm teetering on the edge of how many I want to play, but Book of Moon is a nice little out to Jinzo, Thousand Eyes Restrict and stuff like that. The one Snatch Steal, again, incredibly powerful card, that's why it's banned. The one Pot of Greed, the one MST to deal with your opponent's Snatch Steals, or of course your opponent's Call of the Haunted. One Lightning Vortex, again, personal choice, it's just to help clear the board. Heavy Storm deals with all the back row. Your Graceful Charity, now if you combo off Pot of Greed into Graceful Charity and a Sinister Serpent, it just goes for days. It's very, very nice. I like playing United We Stand because you can get tokens up to crazy amounts of attack, and it's always quite nice and fun going with that. The one Premature Burial, bring that one back. And then finally the Delinquent Duo. Now this will be the hard one for you guys to get because it hasn't seen, I think it's only seen 2 prints. It's about £15 as a super, £20 as an ultra. And you basically pay a K, then you rip one from your opponent's hand, and then your opponent has to discard a card as well. So it's incredibly powerful, which is why it's played in GOAT. But it is one of the harder ones to get hold of because it hasn't had as many prints. Everything else is relatively easy to get hold of because it's all had its multiple prints in starter decks and stuff like that. Unless you want to put it all high rarity, that's when it starts costing you, but obviously don't go high rarity until you're willing to invest. The other nice thing about some of this stuff is when the cards are banned, or some of the cards that are banned, you can get quite cheaply. Next we play the one Dust Tornado, the one Sakuretsu Armor, one Mirror Force, one Ring of Destruction, one Torrential Tribute, and the one Call of the Haunted. Again, all pretty much staple in the deck. You can mess around. If you want to play less traps, by all means you can do so. The build is entirely up to you guys, which is what makes it so fun and open. I even know someone that plays a very, very degenerate version, which involves Ground Collapse and Ojama Trio to kind of lock out your board, and you're just sitting there like, yeah. Anyway, now onto the extra deck. The only one you play staple of is triple Thousand Eyes. You have to play 3 of this, no questions asked. It's your most important fusion card from your extra deck. Other than that, everything else is then down to you and down to the levels. So we go with double Dragonist the Wicked Knight. The best thing about GOAT is that you kind of, people are lenient with it. You're allowed, there's no like specific language format, so you can play the Japanese versions if you want. Some people like going high rarity to get like Ultimate Black Luster Soldier and Ultimate Jinzos, but then of course you can obviously use, if you can't get hold of the English version, you can use Japanese or Korean versions in your extra deck. You would pretty much play 3 of everything, so these are just the ones that I've got. Darkfly Dragon, Carbonala Warrior, Fiend Skull Dragons, Reaper of the Nightmare, Dark Baltier the Terrible, Musician King, Darkblade the Dragon Knight, Gaia the Dragon Champion, Dark Flare Knight, Ryu Senshi, King Dragoon, Thousand Dragon, there we go, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, and the last warrior from another planet. Now, like I said, you very rarely go into these other big monsters because you play so few of them that you're going to be using your Jinzo, your Black Luster Soldier to go into them, and pretty 9 times out of 10, when you've got those on board, you're pretty much going for game anyway as it sits. But they're just there because you can have them there. If you haven't got a limit to the extra deck, why limit yourself? Anyway, that is it for the deck profile. Hope it gives you an idea. Like I said, I highly recommend GOAT to everyone. It's a fun kind of format, and it's very, very relaxing and different, and kind of gives you a chance to break away from stale metas or anything like that you're kind of getting bored of, but still play the game that you love and enjoy. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys. See ya.